Good evening and assalamu alaikum. Peace be with all of you. I'm Queensboro President Donovan Richards, and it's great to be here to celebrate our annual Ramadan virtual event, which will be virtual this year, but I urge everybody to get vaccinated so we can do this in person next year at Borough Hall or another establishment. I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. I want to start by also acknowledging, and I know we'll be joined by him a little later, want to acknowledge our Majority Leader of the United States Senate, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, who will join us later. I also want to acknowledge the co-host of this event, my co-host, Councilmember Idanique Miller, who will also join us during this program. He has stood with us for the rights of everyone, including Muslims, and I'm proud to work with him in government to add to the vitality of our borough. And I also want to acknowledge he's the only Muslim on the city council. So I look forward to hearing remarks from them. I also want to thank my staff who dedicated their time and effort to make this event possible. Thank you all for putting this incredible event together to make this celebration a special one for our borough's rich and vibrant Muslim community. To those who came from many countries and now call Queens their home, I thank you for joining us this evening. We thank you for being a part of one of our many special events here at Borough Hall. So thank you once again to the staff and our co-sponsors for making this all possible. I also want to acknowledge all of the performers who will perform tonight and all of the other folks who will be a part of this program. To the many Muslim organizations who are represented here today, we are grateful you've joined us. The same goes for the members of our Queens General Assembly, our Immigration Task Force, our community boards, and many Muslim faith leaders who are here today. Special thanks to all the participants who have volunteered their time to make this evening a success. It is my pleasure and honor to welcome everyone to the People's House to celebrate all our blessings as one borough. Queens is has more than 190 countries and 200 languages are spoken here, as well as countless faiths and ethnicities. But there are few communities as rich and diverse as our Muslim community. Our borough is simply a better place because of the diverse cultures, cuisines, and histories you all share with the rest of Queens. And that's part of the reason we're all here today. Adherent of Islam constitute the world's second largest religious group. Adherents of Islam constitute the world's second largest religious group. And we can see that right here in the Zoom, as we have participants here today who hail from the Middle East, Europe, Asia, South America, to right here in Queens. So it is my pleasure to bring folks from all over the world together, not just to celebrate such an important tradition, but to unite us as one community, regardless of where we come from. Over the last few months, we've seen a sickening rise in racist attacks against many of our communities. We will never let any form of prejudice stand in our way. We will root it out. This issue is a top priority for my office, and I've been working with my colleagues in government to drive down hate violence in our borough. As we said time and time again at our rallies on the steps of this very building, hate and prejudice has no place in Queens. They have no home because we have faith in one another instead of fear for one another. It's more important than ever to put aside whatever differences we have and unite behind one common theme, that when everyone has a seat at the table, everyone thrives. We know that when you respect the basic human dignity of your neighbors, you build stronger families and stronger communities. Ramadan is a time of purification and compassion, and it is a time to give thanks for the blessings we have received and will receive going forward. We pray for good health and an end to COVID-19. Continue to take all precautions and please vaccinate. We pray for those who have departed us. May their souls rest in peace, and may their families be enriched with God's grace and peace. We also pray for love and unity for all of us, including all of the frontline workers. And during this holy holiday time, I wish health and happiness for you and your family. In Queens today, we have seen the historical and cultural institutions of the diverse Muslim community. And I'm proud to say we have representation at all levels of government and throughout Queens, and it's important that we celebrate that. I want to take a moment to recognize some of my colleagues who will join us if they have. But if not, I want to acknowledge also yesterday, alongside my colleagues in government, Deputy Borough President Rhonda Binda and Assembly Member David Weprin, we held our first Indo-Caribbean Heritage event, reminding us of the struggle of many of our foreparents during indentureship from India to the Caribbean. So I want to thank you all for joining us. We now will go, if none of my colleagues are on yet, I will look to see if they've arrived. But seeing that they haven't, we now will go to an opening prayer by Salim Saeed from the Interfaith Council. Mr. Saeed is very much involved in many communities for the betterment of all. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Salim Sayed, General Secretary of the Interfaith Council for Community Development, nonprofit organization. We work with all diverse communities of Queens to bridge the gap and create understanding among different communities. Ramzan Kareem to everyone. I would like to start with the Islamic greetings of peace and blessings. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. The month of Ramadan is the month of Quran. Quran was revealed to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, 1400 years ago. I will recite some verses from the Quran and translate in English. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا يستوي أصحاب النار وأصحاب الجنة أصحاب الجنة هم الفائزون لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل لرأيته خاشعا متصدعا من خشية الله وتلك الأمثال نضربها للناس لعلهم يتفكرون هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو عالم الغيب والشهادة هو الرحمن الرحيم هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر سبحان الله عما يشركون هو الله الخالق البارئ المصور له الأسماء الحسنى يسبح له ما في السماوات والأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم صدق الله العظيم. Now I will translate the verses that I just recited from the Holy Quran, chapter 59, verses 20 to 24. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. The companions of hell and the companions of paradise are not equal. The companions of paradise, they are the successful. If we had sent down the Quran on a mountain, you would have seen it humble itself and split into pieces from the fear of Allah. We are citing these examples for mankind so that they may reflect. Allah is He besides whom there is none worthy of worship, the knower of unseen and the seen. He is the Beneficent, the Merciful. Allah is He besides whom there is none worthy of worship, the King, the Holy, the Perfect, the Bestower of faith, the Guardian, the Almighty, the Irresistible, the Supreme. Glory be to Allah. He is far above the shirk they commit by associating other gods with Him. He is Allah, the Creator, the Inventor, the Bestower of forms. To Him belongs the most beautiful names. All that is in the heavens and the earth declares His glory. and He is the Almighty, the All-Wise. Allah speak the truth. Assalamu alaikum. Again, I would like to extend my greetings and Ramzan Kareem to everyone. Thank you for joining and listening. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you so much for that, Salim. So good to see you. Next, we'll have the U.S. National Anthem by students of Razi School, where religious and academic education is taught to many of our various diversities. Thank you.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early lights what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
That was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, sisters from the Razi School. Thank you. Next, we'll hear a recitation of verses from the Quran pertaining to Ramadan and fasting by Imam Omerzgik Hako, who is the lead imam of the Bosnian Cultural Center. I was there a few weeks ago.
Bismillah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون أياما معدودات فمن كان منكم مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر وعلى الذين يطيقونه فدية طعام مسكين فمن تطوع خيرا فهو خير له وأن تصوموا خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصم ومن كان مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر ولتكملوا العدة ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم ولعلكم تشكرون وإذا سألك عبادي عني فإني قريب أجيب دعوة الداع إذا دعان فليستجيبوا لي
Thank you so much. That was beautiful. Now we'll have the English translation from Imam Ahmad Hamid. He's dedicated over 55 years as an educator in Islamic and academic education.
I seek refuge in Allah from Satan the accursed. I begin in the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. O you who believe, fasting is prescribed to you as it was prescribed to those before you, that you may learn self-restraint. Fasting for a fixed number of days, but if any of you is ill or on a journey, the prescribed number should be made up from days later. For those who can do it with hardship is a ransom, the feeding of one that is indigent. But he that will give more of his own free will, it is better for him, and it is better for you that you fast, if you only knew. Ramadan is a month in which was sent down the Quran as a guide to mankind, and also as a clear sign for guidance and judgment between right and wrong. So every one of you who is present at his home during that month should spend it in fasting. But if anyone is ill or on a journey, the prescribed period should be made up by days later. Allah intends every facility for you. He does not want to put you to difficulties. He wants you to complete the prescribed period and to glorify Him in that He has guided you, and perchance you shall be grateful. Sadaqallahu al-Azim. Indeed, Allah has spoken the truth.
Thank you so much, Brother Ahmed, Imam Ahmed Hamid. We will now listen to a nasheed done by the students of Razi School under the guidance of Sister Amani Moore.
Our Prophet Muhammad, the last prophet, said,
That was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. That was really beautiful. I want to thank our young leaders at the Razi School for that. And certainly thank you, Sister Amani Moore, for putting this together. Now we're going to go to remarks from my colleague, Councilmember Danique Miller. And I want to thank him for always being someone on the front lines, not just for the Muslim community, but all communities across the borough and city. And he's been one of the leaders, if not the leader, in bringing vaccines equity to our mosque across the borough as well. I want to thank him for his work on that and so much more on transportation, so many different issues that impact the residents of Queens. And I used to say I'm part of the dream team because I was at the city council. Now I'm the borough president, and it's a little lonely at Borough Hall. I don't get to see Danique Miller and Adrian Adams, the Southeast Queens dream team as much, but always grateful to partner in my new capacity with him, and someone I consider a mentor as well. So thank you for being here, Council Member Danique Miller. Mute yourself though.
Thank you, Mr. Borough President.
Thank you.
And assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. It is such a pleasure to be here with you this evening. I want to thank you, Borough President, for hosting this Ramadan event and highlighting our rich Muslim community and its contributions to this gorgeous mosaic that we know as the Borough of Queens. For me, it's a particular pleasure to be here to share this event with you and be here during the last 10 days of Ramadan, which is especially a spiritual time in a month that is already holy and sacred. It is a time when we are approaching the night of power, in which the Quran was revealed by the Prophet Muhammad, peace be and blessings be upon him. And that which guides our lives every day. And you know that I've been saying for the past 8 years that our community is changing, it is emerging. Please step outside and see who your neighbors are. And you, as my other colleagues in the council, have really embraced that. And so I'm really proud of the work that we've done collectively at the council, being the lone Muslim member of the New York City Council, and all the achievements that we have collectively done. Certainly, I could not have done that on my own. When it comes to respecting and the needs and the values of the Muslim community, it has been a collective task, and you have been a big part of that, along with our other colleagues in government. So I'm very thankful for that. You know, outside folks, outside of Islam may think that, you know, fasting for 30 days from sunrise to sunset is an ordeal. But for a Muslim and the Muslim community, is something that we look forward to and something that we relish. We relish this time of the year. I know I do, in the midst of the minutiae of government, and you know, I need balance, and this allows for that balance. The fasting and the charity are the two pillars of Islam. Something that we try to exercise each day, but is certainly highlighted during the month of Ramadan. And so as we fast, you know, it is exercising empathy for those who are less fortunate. And it allows us to exercise our faith, build self-confidence in moderation, and encourage cultivation and appreciation for the blessings that have been bestowed upon us. And it's so easy to lose sight of that. And you know, and Islam also requires charity and service. For me, what we do 365 days a year in government and having the ability to serve God's creation is just a blessing. And we are all blessed. And in that sense, we are all Muslims, and that we get to serve each and every day, to provide for those who are less fortunate each and every day, acts of charity, even if it is all you have to spare is a single date or a kind word, then that, as that is to encourage others. That is that is what is pleasing to Allah. Shirley Chisholm says that these acts of kindness and service is the rent that you pay for being on the planet, and that is equivalent to the service that we do during this time daily, but certainly during the month of Ramadan, in exercising charity and service to others. And so I encourage everyone to continue to do that, to come out to our community iftars and in the evenings that we've been having and sharing with others. Certainly, our annual Eid al-Fatih event that we normally host at City Hall. Unfortunately, we won't be able to host it this year at City Hall, but we will be hosting some outside events. We have been able to share, our faith and culture with the community, and so that we've been able to, so that others can embrace Islam and the peace that it is, and the culture and the faith that it is. And so it makes all of our experiences in recognizing our new neighbors a seamless experience. And as I approach the end of my second term and final term in public service, I am thankful for this faith that has really encouraged me to serve our ummah, our community holistically. And it is, and for me, this Queen's Mosaic is really the jewel of the city. Thank you for your leadership and bringing folk together. And it is so important that we get to highlight our faiths, and it's interesting, that we have been able to feed so many families during the month of Ramadan here, and where those meals have come from, and who has poured into our community during this time has been really encouraging. It has been not just other Muslims, but as others who have, just as during the past year, and where we have experienced a worldwide pandemic and worldwide social unrest. It is the tenets of Islam that have really seen us all through, right? It is the charity to humanity. It is the service to humanity, those who were homeless, those who were food insecure, that we had all relied on these tenets to serve humanity. And so I'm thankful for that opportunity. It has been an absolute blessing for me to be able to serve and have a career of service. It's been also an honor and blessing to serve with you, young man. So it is. I look forward to continuing the work, continuing to serve, to all Ramadan Kareem, and I look forward to a blessed next 7 days now of Ramadan, and working with and serving with each and every one. Mr. Borough President, we have a couple of iftars and Eid celebrations that we will be attending together. Looking forward to that. So thank you all, for those who have joined us here this evening for this celebration. I hope that you learned something about the faith and those tenets that you take with you, and that we can all continue to serve in his blessed name. Peace and blessings. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Thank you so much for that, and so much you've accomplished. So the community certainly can be proud of all that you have. And the other part I want to talk about is representation is so important. Councilmember Miller talked about being the only Muslim on the city council. Representation is important, because if it were not for him, many of the initiatives, I forget the initiative you did on the council, but it really revolved around ensuring the Muslim community would have access to food and services, and because of Councilmember Idenique Miller's representation and advocacy, the community is being not just fed, but supported in a big way. So I want to thank you, Councilmember Miller, for that, because I remember that initiative that you were able to.
Yes, the Muslim Empowerment Initiative.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
But also thank you, as I started out by saying, you're not the lone Muslim just because in faith that you're the lone Muslim. In order for us to have, the Eid holidays, and so that our children do not have to decide whether or not they want to go to school and further their education or stay home and practice their faith, I was but one vote. And that was a unanimous vote. So I thank you. In order to have halal meals in the schools, I was but one vote. I thank you. And so it was a collective effort, but representation is important. I thank you, and I thank you for your leadership.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilmember Miller. Now we will hear a brief message on Ramadan by Muhammad Rashid of Smart Academia, and a diehard community leader who is never tired of helping his community.
نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. The holy month of Ramadan is always celebrated in the 9th month of the Islamic calendar. Depending upon the sighting of moon, the entire month, which is observed by fasting and praying, staying away from any kind of distractions and vices, is considered to be very pious and divine for Muslims. People also pray 5 times a day and offer greetings to Allah. It is considered to be a time for reflection, observation, and considered to be one of the 5 pillars Muslims are supposed to follow through their life. While pregnant women, elderly, and little children excused from keeping a fast, everybody else religiously keeps them until Eid, when they feast, offer prayers, and celebrate by wishing their near and dear ones. People generally wish each other by saying Ramadan Kareem or Ramadan Mubarak. They also follow charitable doings and distribute food, money, and offerings to the poor and needy. It's very important and holy month for those observing it. Ramadan Kareem, offering the poor and needy. It's a very prayers, daily prayers called Taraweeh, are considered after every evening. Last daily prayer, which is called Isha. Taraweeh is delivered from the Arabic word meaning to rest and relax, as it is seen from of Islamic meditation. Ramadan is a month of rebirth, whose beginning is mercy, whose middle is forgiveness, and whose end is freedom from fire. Ramadan teaches to walk humbly, talk politely, dress neatly, treat kindly, pray attentively, and donate generously. The spirit of Ramadan is not only for fasting, but also to feed the hungry, help the needy, guard our tongue, and to judge others, and forgive. Forgiveness is divine. That's the spirit of Ramadan. Ramadan is one of the popular festivals celebrated by Muslims community, where the devotees from across the globe fast, and the main motive behind the celebration of the festival is to try and become a better human being. The worshippers seek the blessings of Allah and try to implement the message of the holy book, Al-Quran Al-Kareem, in their life. People wake up early in the morning, after midnight, and have their first meal called Sehri, which is plated up with filing foods like dates, milk, fruits, etc., etc. They do not eat or drink anything after that until sunset, when they complete the fast called Iftari. In the evening, during Iftari time, people often complete their fast together and celebrate that by dining lavishly under one roof, a time to celebrate and greet loved ones. It is also a time to seek blessings. It is said that Prophet Muhammad once spoke, when the month of Ramadan is started, the gates of heaven are opened and the gates of hell are closed, and the devils are chained. Ramadan is the holy month of Muslims, where they fast during the daylight. During this holy month, Muslims do not even sip of water during the daytime and dedicate their daylight hours to absentees, charity, and faith. They only eat and drink anything after Iftari, sundown, which shows an incredible feat of self-discipline in them. Fasting benefits us, and the same has been mentioned in the Quran. Oh, you who believe fasting is prescribed to you as it was prescribed those before you, so that you may learn self-restraints. Make this Ramadan the turning point of your life. Break free from the deception of this world and indulge into sweetness of Iman. Praise belongs to Allah who appointed among those roots His month, the month of Ramadan, the month of fasting, the month of submission, the month of purity, the month of putting to test, the month of standing in prayer, in which the Quran was sent down as guidance to the people, and as a clear signs of the guidance and the separator. Jazakallah. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Hello.
Brother Rashid, and we're now joined by our U.S. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, who was out on the front lines today. I saw, I think, rallying with taxi drivers from around the city too today.
Yes.
Always good to see you, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer.
Well, thank you, Donovan Richards. What a great borough president. And, you know, Queens, as Donovan always reminds us, is the most diverse borough county in the country. And nobody helps deal with each of these communities and then knead them into a unified, diverse group to fight for all of us than your new borough president, Donovan Richards. He's done a great job. So I am glad to be here for a brief minute. I want to wish you all a blessed Ramadan, a Ramadan Mubarak. And right now, of course, Muslims, as was just mentioned, are fasting during this month of revelation to bring themselves closer to God and their communities. I've been awed really by the faith and devotion displayed by the Islamic community during Ramadan. I'm a person of faith, and such strong displays of faith are very moving to me. And the acts of service, the commitment to bettering the community is so important. And I guess as we reflect tonight, we can reflect on the challenges of the pandemic in 2020. For far too many families have had to sit down for iftar this evening without a cherished loved one due to a health crisis. Many more are out of work due to economic crises. And so many have lost faith that we can recover from the pandemic. Yet in the face of these challenges, tonight, all across the country, all across Queens and all across New York, including my borough of Brooklyn, Muslim families are gathered together to pray and work towards building a better future. And the work that you will all do, your commitment to community, the acts of generosity that you take are needed now more than ever. So I'm proud to join all of you as we hope and pray for a better tomorrow. And I promise you, as long as I am leader of the Senate, the Islamic community will have a friend in the Congress. As you know, Donald Trump gave me a nickname. You may have read it, Crying Chuck Schumer, but you may not know how he got that. When the president passed the Muslim ban, I had a press conference to say how horrible it was, and I had some Muslim families there, including a young man, an Afghan, who risked his life to translate for our soldiers as they were trying to undo those IEDs. But what touched me particularly was a Arabic Muslim woman in a hijab with 4 little children. And they were crying because they would never see their father again under this Muslim ban, children, and the mom wouldn't see her husband. And I got teary-eyed. I'm an emotional person. I started to cry, and Donald Trump said, "That's Chuck Schumer, crying Chuck Schumer." Well, my Muslim friends, I'm proud that I have that name. I'm happy to have shown emotion for the horrible things that were being done to our beautiful Muslim community. And I will fight them as I did then. I will fight them every step of the way in the future when people try to raise the specter of bigotry against our wonderful and needed Muslim community in Queens, in New York, and in America. So thank you, Donovan. Thank you, everybody. And once again, Ramadan Mubarak.
Thank you so much. God bless you, and get back to good work and bringing that bacon home for New York City, and especially Queens.
Thank you. Thanks, Donovan.
All right,
Bye-bye.
thank you. Good to see you. All right, our next item is the next person we'll hear is a nasheed from the students of Ideal Islamic School, guided by their principal sister, Someh Farazi.
Lift me up high, you spread my wings and fly me to the sky. I feel so alive, it's like my soul thrives into your light.
But how I wish you'd be here with me all year round. Ramadan, 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 ya Habib. Ramadan, Ramadan, ليتك دوم قريب. Love is everywhere, so much peace fills up the air. Ramadan, month of the Quran, I feel it inside of me, strengthen my iman. But how I wish you'd be here with me all year round. Ramadan, 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 ya Habib. Ramadan, Ramadan, ليتك دوما قريب. I just love the way you make me feel every time you come around. You breathe life into my soul, and I promise that I'll try throughout the year to keep your spirit alive. In the heart, it never dies. Oh, Ramadan. How I wish you'd be here with me all year round. Ramadan, 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 ya Habib. Ramadan, Ramadan, ليتك دوما قريب. ليتك دوما قريب. نبي سلام عليك، يا رسول سلام عليك، يا حبيب سلام عليك، صلوات الله عليك. أنت نور الله فجرا، جئت بعد العسر يسرا، ربنا عليك قدرا، يا إمام الأنبياء. أنت في الوجدان حيا، أنت للعينين داعيا، أنت عند الحوض ريا، أنت هادي وسفيا، يا حبيبي يا محمد. يا نبي سلام عليك، يا رسول سلام عليك، يا حبيب سلام عليك، صلوات الله عليك. أنت نور الله فجرا، جئت بعد العسر يسرا، ربنا علاك قدرا، يا إمام الأنبياء. يرتوي بالحب قلبي، حب خير رسل ربي، من به الأبصرت دربي، يا شفيعي يا رسول الله. يا نبي سلام عليك، يا رسول سلام عليك، يا حبيب سلام عليك، صلوات الله عليك. أيها المختار فينا، زدنا الحب حنينا، جئتنا بالخير دينا، يا ختام المرسلين، يا حبيبي يا محمد. يا نبي سلام عليك، يا رسول سلام عليك، يا حبيب سلام عليك، صلوات الله عليك.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much for that. Now we'll have a closing prayer by a good friend of mine, Imam Musa Abu Sulam.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. First of all, let me thank Allah for giving me the opportunity to give this supplication for this Ramadan iftar on behalf of Borough President Donovan Richards. I thank Allah for us being able to experience another blessed month of Ramadan when the Quran was revealed. The Quran was revealed during the month of Ramadan to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in order to enlighten mankind and uplift us to be better understanding of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's message. Ramadan has 3 stages to it. The first stage, the first 10 days of Ramadan, is the 10 days of mercy. The second stage is the 10 days of forgiveness. The third stage is when the gates of hell are closed and the gates of paradise are open. This is the third stage because this presentation will be given on May 5th. I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all the blessings that He has bestowed upon us in this blessed month of Ramadan. All of those who were able to fast, all the Muslims worldwide, may Allah accept your blessings, your prayers, your du'as. May Allah give us all tawfiq, give us the sincerity that we need to uplift us in understanding His message to mankind, to want for our brothers and sisters what we want for ourselves. Truly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is most merciful. And before I end this, I want just going to give something from Imam Shafi. Always hate what is wrong, but don't hate the one who errs. Hate the sin with all your heart, but forgive and have mercy on the sinner. Criticize speech, but respect the speaker. Our job is to hope in disease and be patient. SubhanAllah. Our job is to wipe out disease, not the patient. That's Imam Shafi. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Walas. Inna insani lavakus. Illa dinina aminu wa amilus. Salihatu wa sabdu haq. Wa sabdu sabr. Ameen.
Thank you. That was so beautiful. And I can't wait to get back to your mosque. Always such wisdom imparted on us. Want to thank everybody for joining us tonight for this celebration. Once again, want to urge everybody to get vaccinated. Many of us have. Danique Miller got vaccinated. I got vaccinated. Chuck Schumer got vaccinated. You will be okay. But we need everybody to do that so we can gather back at Borough Hall and at other occasions in a safe manner. Queens did hit the 1 million mark 2 Fridays ago, but we need to keep this going so that our communities are safe and we can do this event in person. So I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. As we say, Sukran, and may you have a blessed Ramadan. And thank you once again to all of the performers, to all of our imams, to my colleague, Danique Miller, also our U.S. Senate leader, Majority Leader Chuck Schumer for stopping in tonight. Thank you. Have a blessed